Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Final Whistle with myself, Upila Petero. We had three halfbacks playing for the Springboks this year. What are your guys' thoughts on performances around our number nines?
So for me, I still believe Faf is the first choice for the Springboks, right? And I'll take you back to a game that he showed what he can really do. That first test against England, when we were 24 or 21-3 down, 24-3 down,
Ellis Park,
where Faf was unbelievable. You know, he controlled the tempo of the game. He made fantastic decisions. Some people might say he was erratic in the game, but the options that he chose came off.
Accurate,
you know, they were pretty accurate on the day. When he gets it right, you know, he can be magic.
100%.
You know,
100%.
So for me, he sort of comes out on top this season. But Emrys Papir, the last few games of this year, showed that he can play and hang around with the big boys. And like I've been saying all season long, I wanted him to play more games. I think if he had played more games, he would have had a better sort of end of the year tour, or even better end of the year tour, and we would have benefited more. But yeah, those are my two guys.
So to me, I mean, if you ask me, potentially the best scrum half in the country is Emrys Papir. He just hasn't had a chance to play. But in reality, going into the World Cup, we probably will play Faf because of the amount of minutes he's actually got over the year, and then also the backing that he's got from Russ. So that would be my sense. I mean, touching on Faf again, my main concern with Faf is just call it the classical 9 type of player. So yes, I still think Faf is erratic. I don't think he's fast. I think Papir is fast. Faf is erratic. And then also, I mean, the box kicking still has a couple of work to do. He has improved a bit. I mean, I like his tactical kicking against the All Blacks at Loftus. But touching on that, I mean, that's where I'd say, okay, we can still back Faf going into the World Cup. But I think as a classic 9, to me, Emrys Papir is a more classic 9 than Faf. But yeah, I mean, if you were to say I must pick 3 scrum halves going into World Cup in order of how they play, I'd probably say Faf. I'd say Papir is his backup. And then Jeezy's third choice, I don't know.
You've got Van Zyl, you've got Schroeder.
Got Van Zyl, got Schroeder, but you're going to hate me again. But I think in this particular match, I'm going to go back on Pino.
All right, and then now moving into number 10 position. I mean, we're very happy with what Henry Pollard has done in this tour. He was a bit on and off during the Rugby Championship. He was average, okay, good against England. But what are your guys' overall thoughts in the number 10 position? Not to cut you guys, I think as well, he's done very well. When Elton Jantjies comes onto the field, he's done very well, and I'm happy with what the options that come out when Elton Jantjies plays at 10 and Pollard plays at 12. I think going forward, for me personally, I would like to see more of that than a one-dimensional Damon Dialende. We know what he's going to do. He's going to take the ball up straight. He's not going to give you variations. He's not going to get the ball out to Apiwe Janji or Usboom Horse. But when Pollard comes in, our wings get the ball all the time. So what do you guys thought on your 10 and 12 positioning this year?
Yeah, so Handre's had so many games. He's sort of played himself into form. For me, he started off.
Goes back to what you say about game time.
Yeah. You know, game time is very important, especially for a player like him. You know, as well. So he's finished off the year kicking well. He finished off the year making some relatively good decisions at 10. But for me, again, I think Pollard would be better, or would be a better option for us at 12 with Elton at 10. The reason I say that is because he just seems more comfortable at 12, and I'd rather have Pollard on the field rather than him on the bench and Elton.
True.
And vice versa as well. So I am a fan of having Elton at 10 and 12, given the players that we have at the moment. You know, Damien for me hasn't really, come to the party. We know what he can do. He showed us what he can do. He can take the ball into contact, make yards, make a few tackles here and there. But there's no X factor for me. He's not bringing anything other than bullocking runs. And I think right now the Springboks need a a player at 12 that has a bit more lateral
Playmaker.
and playmaker.
Can I introduce you guys to a player called Jan Surfing?
No, I knew it. No.
Like I said, I qualified it with
Let
the
me give my
Fair.
hang on, give me a chance too now. So Andre Pollard at 10, I agree, he's played himself into form. He has done well. I think in this Northern Hemisphere tour, he's hit his straps. He's actually played well, probably been one of our better players within the tour.
Okay.
So he's done well for us at 10. I agree that when he does move to 12, he looks more natural, and he actually gives us, call it, a more dynamic attacking option than to what we have in Damien Dialinde. I also think he does work well with Elton also coming in there. I think just going back to where my concern probably would be at the stage of where we are going into World Cup is that Elton this whole year, I think, has started one game at 10. And I remember another analyst talking about how Elton's actually really battled starting again for the Springboks. I mean, he played the England game, he didn't really control them. And I think even when he was starting in the Alistair Coetzee era, hold on, his big criticism always the sense of he's not really controlling the game. But again, back to what Sisa was saying, it's time to build your confidence to get into the role. Okay, so the concern we have now going into next year, we've got 4 games, then we've got the World Cup.
100%.
So those 4 games to me are your last dress rehearsal for the World Cup. And I think it's too late now to bring him in. What I would look at, talking about your options at 12, is again, Jan Surffontein is another option we have that we haven't used. But if that's
Esther Hazen?
No.
Yeah, what a mess.
But what I really do enjoy and what's worked for us is that when Elton does come on and the go forward ball, he really gives the guys in terms of, I mean, he's just a naturally attacking player. He's good with his hands, so he keeps the defense honest, but also he's got a better vision than Pollard in terms of, do I play short, do I play long? And that's what he does really well. So
you're saying he's playing his role off the bench?
I think he's playing his role off the bench.
So let's not change what's working.
Exactly. That would be my view.
Let's not change what's working.
Well, I mean, it's working for us in the last 20.
Is it working? Yeah, that's
Because
we're getting good go forward. I agree.
That you want to go start with Elton, okay? Whereas you say he's been criticised.
So you reckon if Elton starts, he'll be put under pressure as much as in Super Rugby, for example, where the Lions have played a couple of finals. And we've seen how teams have strategized to play against Elton Jantjies, and he's kind of a no-show when it comes to those finals.
And that's really his criticism. So my answer to you would be, I don't know. But as a coach going to World Cup with only 4 games left, I'd say it's too late to try that, and I'll probably look at it going forward. If they are in 2023.
So for the 15th position, I mean, we haven't seen much change at fullback, and basically Ovili has owned that role this whole season, and he's even earned his 50th cap this season. Well done, congratulations to him. Who do you guys see, I mean, as a substitute for Vili? I mean, in rugby we don't have certainties in terms of you're going to play a full season without getting injured. What happens if Vili gets injured? Who do we have coming into his place?
Well, I mean, the current covers that you had this season was Damien Willemse, but one that was selected who actually unfortunately got injured was Warwick Galant. So, I mean, hopefully he finds form in Super Rugby and he can actually join the guys. I see him being part of the 31-man squad to go to the World Cup. So, I mean, that's your cover in Damien and Galant going in. So, I think on that particular side, we're pretty fine.
Happy?
Without a doubt.
Happy. Well, follow us on Twitter @grit_sports. #Beyond the Final Whistle. Join in on the conversation.